All right. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Wrestling Otaku back here on the one and only Wrestling Otaku channel, your personification of excellence on YouTube and YWC. We're the best reviews wrestling and your three-time reigning YWC channel of the year, and I'm back here. It is now officially past midnight, so it is Thursday, November 13th of 2025. Hope you all have been having a good week so far as we are rolling along here through the month of November. We're almost midway through the month. In about 2 weeks' time, we've got Thanksgiving, one of my favorite holidays of the year for obvious reasons. And luckily, the whole government shutdown has apparently ended. So yours truly will get the chance to enjoy in a couple weeks the Thanksgiving festivities. Can't wait for that, man. But yeah, so I just got through doing a short video here on the channel talking about earlier's edition of AEW Dynamite, the Blood and Guts edition. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and more content to come on the channel for sure. There are several videos that I have planned, which I will be doing. Of course, I got a day off tomorrow, so I'll be probably making some runs because obviously it's payday. But but anyway, so yeah, I'll be doing some stuff. But I have a few videos in mind. One in specific that I really want to do. I should have done it days ago, but yeah, there's one in specific video that I have planned in regards to a certain something that happened on WWE Raw this week with a certain individual winning a certain title that he did not fucking need. But anyway, so here tonight, I'm here to give you guys a little impromptu live stream, and I figured, what better way to do it than to resurrect or bring back the WO Speaks video series or live stream series. I guess this, it's been I've been kind of on and off when it comes to doing live streams. I'm trying to get back to, doing some more, being more frequent. It just all depends on how I feel and, if I'm in the mood to and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to get back to doing live streams and being more, active and creative and, proactive and all that kind of stuff when it comes to content here. And this is kind of the start of that. I do plan on hopefully in the near future getting around to doing more live streams, and this is again the start of that. So basically, the WO Speaks live stream series, or if you even want to call it a podcast, which I guess it really isn't, but it's more of a live stream series than anything else. Is basically where I will be talking, and I'm going to try to make this a regular thing too here on the channel, where I'll basically be talking about things, just various topics that come to mind that don't really fall into the realm of wrestling or pro wrestling or sports, or Baltimore sports or things that I focus the channel on, which of course, obviously this is a channel, obviously Wrestling Otaku channels. I'm more so focused on, pro wrestling, discussing pro wrestling, Baltimore sports and other things. And so obviously with this WO Speaks live stream series that I plan on doing, I will be discussing topics that kind of fall outside of the realm of that, which is the case with this stream here tonight. So before I get into the topic of this video, or before I get into the topic of this live stream, I want to say right offhand, be sure to like this video, leave a comment. If you're watching this live, if anybody catches this live or after this uploads to the channel, go ahead and let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. By the time this stream ends or after this video is over, if you have anything you want to say, go ahead and hit me up in the live chat or in the comments. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate all the support I can get. And I always, this is something that I always say at the end of every video. I figure I'd say it here at the beginning of this one. And also, I have a little bit of an announcement. Now, I might do this as a standalone video later, but I figure I'd say it here since, I am live streaming here, and I did just announce that I'm going to be kind of resurrecting the WO Speaks live stream series. And that is that at the start of the year, and in about a little over a month's time, maybe a month and a half's time, of course, there's only a month and a half left till the end of this year, and then we'll be rolling into 2026. So starting in January of 2026, I want to say the first week of January, I would be getting back to doing, and I will be bringing back the Word on Wrestling podcast. And this is something that I've been planning for a long time. I know I've said in the past that I would, but it just never kind of came to fruition because just things happen. But I 100% for certain want to do the Word on Wrestling podcast once again. I want to bring that back and make that a regular thing here on the channel, in addition to the other videos and such that I plan on doing on a regular, on a somewhat regular basis here. And so there you go. There's your big announcement. Starting in January 2026, Word on Wrestling podcast will be returning right here on the Wrestling Otaku channel. So with that being said, let us go ahead and get into the start of this video. So as you can see, the title of this video is What's Going On with Steel Toe Morning Show. And so some of you might have seen the series of videos I did in the last week where I was basically challenging Steel Toe Morning Show and their host, Aaron, to basically a little friendly wager involving the game between the Ravens and the Vikings on last Sunday, which of course the Ravens did win that game 27-19. And obviously, you saw the celebratory video I did afterwards. And I did say in that video that I was not done with Steel Toe and so on and so forth. So for those of you who may not be familiar with this channel, basically Steel Toe Morning Show is a channel on YouTube that, it's basically kind of like, I guess it falls in the realm of like a podcast or like a sort of like a talk show, whatever have you, in podcast format. They do shows on YouTube, and the host, or the person who runs the channel, Aaron Imholt, he used to be like a local radio show host, many years ago, and his area, central Minnesota or whatever, and then he, I guess, kind of transitioned from that to doing online, podcasts and stuff. And so yeah, Steel Toe Morning Show is I guess fairly well-known channel, podcast show, whatever have you, at least in, whatever community he's in. He's got a little over 13K 13,000 subs on his channel. If you're wondering how I'm familiar with him, it's basically because back in 2023, this channel, these guys, or this channel, this in the Aaron in specific, actually reached out to me. And this was during the period where I was pretty much, I guess you could say, I was getting quite a bit of attention. Some might say for the wrong reasons. Quite a bit of people were, doing reactions to my videos. I was quite I guess you could say a controversial, polarizing figure, because of videos I'd done in the past. Specifically, the 10 reasons why women are trash video I did in 2020. Then the requirements for women to date me video I did in late 2022. And so, yeah, I had quite a bit of, channels much bigger than me from other communities who were basically reacting to said videos. And Steel Toe Morning Show was one of them. Now, in 2023, they actually brought me up, several times. They did, reactions to several of my videos. At the time, it was, Aaron Imholt and his wife at the time, April. And they would often, do reactions to my videos and such. And, they had their, responses, whatever have you, And actually, and I don't know if I've divulged this or not, but Aaron himself actually reached out to me several times. He actually offered for me to come onto his show or actually be interviewed on the show. And I was kind of like, at the time, I wasn't necessarily against it, but I was like, I don't know if I necessarily want to, I don't know if I necessarily want to go on to, a show I'm not familiar with, which, at the time I wasn't, but, over time I got to kind of, see and, I guess ascertain a little bit about what, Steel Toe was all about. But anyway, so that was back in 2023. And of course, as y'all know, in 2024, in February, I lost my big channel, of course, my main Wrestling Otaku channel, 4,000 subs. And obviously, shortly thereafter, I created this channel. And my last interaction, or the last mention of me from him, from Steel Toe, was right around then, where he was talking about my channel being taken down, and he basically said something to the effect of, well, his channel is taken down, is probably it's probably not going to be you know you're probably not going to have another one, or if you do, it's not going to last long, or something like that. And here we are in late 2025, and I still have this channel. And so I guess you were wrong about that. But yeah. But anyway, that was my last instance of me kind of really paying attention to him, or any sort of there being any sort of real mention of me from him, or so on and so forth. So I've been really kind of out of the loop with Steel Toe and Aaron, and then there's the dealings of him and whatever community, because I'm not a part of his community, or whatever community of that he's from. I think it's called like the Dabbleverse or something, like I guess, where people do podcasts or something like that. It's either like a podcast, kind of like a podcast community, or a community where people do like stand-up comedy or some shit like that. But anyway, so early 2024 was really the last time that I kind of was paying any sort of attention to him. Now, flash forward from then to now, up to about a couple weeks ago, I decided to kind of check in, because I've really, like I said, I haven't really seen or watched or heard from, Steel Toe, or, paid attention to them in, a good year plus. And so I decided to check back in, and it's like, holy shit, like quite a bit has happened. Some of which I divulged in that video where I made the challenge to him, but pretty much, he's gotten quite a bit of, I guess you could say, negative attention for himself. He apparently got arrested, or charged like last year this time, and then he like served the jail time, even though it was only about, like, I believe, from my recollection, 8 days or something like that. But yeah, he's involved in quite a bit. He's not with his he's no longer with his wife, or I guess now his ex-wife. Him and April split up or whatever, and there was some big kind of thing between him and somebody that I guess somebody else within his community that he was cool with, who him and April kind of messed with or rolled with or whatever. It's a real big thing. I'm not going to delve into the whole thing, because it's really not, but yeah, there was this big fiasco with him and his wife, and then this other, I guess, pair of individuals who him and her were dealing with. But yeah, so yeah, quite a bit has happened between from quite a bit has happened between now or between then and now, when it comes to him. And so it's like, and I look at that, and I'm just like, I'm just kind of just skimming. This was a couple weeks ago. I was just kind of skimming through YouTube, and just I was searching up Steel Toe or whatever, and I'm pulling up all these videos of all these people, like their responses to him, and reacting to him and responding to his videos. And I see all these videos of all these reaction videos of people basically hating on him, and calling out various things that he says, and talking about him being arrested, and talking about his various things involving his legal situation, and just all kinds of shit, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Like, what in the world did I miss out on? Like, holy shit. But like I said, I'm not a part of his community, but or I'm not part of Steel Toe's community, but I'm just looking at that, and I'm like, wow. It's like, holy shit. Like, this dude's been in a lot of shit in the last year and a half. My God. But yeah, so before I continue, let me just check on the chat real quick. I see a couple of people commented. Hello, Tekken is my world. Says, congrats on your Ravens win. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, 3 straight wins, man. 3 straight wins. That's a heck of a difference from 1-5. Now they're 4-5. In the next couple games, they're heavily favored. So I stated this before, but in the next couple weeks, they should be well over 500, or they should get to 500 and then over 500 because their next game they play at the Browns, who the Browns ain't doing nothing. They already beat the Browns once this year back in week 2. I know it's not going to be, because it's a division opponent, but they should handle that game. And then after that, they got the Jets. So they got the freaking Jets who ain't doing shit this year at home. So yeah, needless to say, if they win those next 2 games, they'll be over 500. Hope they come back to win the division over Pittsburgh. I think it's a very good possibility unless they just, completely shit the bed or somebody major gets hurt again. But, you had the Lamar Jackson injury and then, and they had a couple other guys injured. But now, since the bye week, they've gotten healthy and that defense has really stood out since the bye week. So I think they can. I think they will. Like they did it last year. I don't know if you remember last year. I think it was a month left to go in the season. They were like 2 games back of the Steelers. And then that final month, they went on that winning streak and they ended up winning the division. So I think they very much will come back and win this division. They are a favorite too. Although, again, that doesn't really mean much. But like I said, I think there's a strong possibility if they keep playing like they have the last 3 weeks, they will. You should also stream more gaming too, like you did with Sonic Origins the other. Oh yeah, I do plan on doing that too. I do plan on doing some more game streams as well. I do have a Wrestling Otaku gaming channel, so I plan to get back to doing game streams on that as well. I want to do the rest of Sonic 1 at some point. Maybe I might do it tomorrow, because I'm not really doing much tomorrow. So, but yeah, I want to get back to streaming on my Wrestling Otaku gaming channel as well, and also my Twitch. I also have a Twitch, which I'll share later. Hello, JF says, "Hey Otaku," and then Juan Unda says, "Legal drama." Yeah, that's pretty much what it's been. Getting back to this, yeah, those are all the comments. But shouts out to everybody, to the people watching. And Anthony says, "How you doing? How are you doing? What's going on? What's going on, Anthony? Show about watching AEW. Oh yeah, I watched it earlier. I actually talked about that a little bit. I did a short video talking about the Blood and Guts. It was a great show. It was a really good show that they did. Blood and Guts. I mean, it was a real awesome show. The shouts out to everybody watching. Those are the comments. So, getting back on topic here. So yeah, so Steel Toe. So I kind of gave you guys the breakdown as to what was happening with them, what I found out about, recently, because I've been, out of the loop in regards to anything Steel Toe's been doing in the last year and a half. And, again, I think it was the fact that the Ravens played the Vikings that kind of made me want to set, kind of, look into like what Steel Toe's doing. Cause I know, the Vikings that's Aaron's team, of course, from Minnesota. And that's why that's when I got the idea to do that, friendly wager, which of course he, didn't really reply to, but yeah. And I left that comment. I screen shared I left a comment on one of his recent streams that he did on Monday, and he actually hearted it. So I know he sees me. I know he knows that I'm still around. So it's like I mentioned before, but anyway, so for those of you who don't know, I just, kind of briefly, described, what Steel Toe Morning Show is, what they do, and what my, I guess, the interaction that I've had with them in the past. Now, the purpose of this video was more so to kind of talk about what happened recently. You see, Steel Toe's last show was on Monday, or their last live stream was on Monday. Yesterday or Tuesday, I want to say, no, today's technically Thursday, but Tuesday and then today, Wednesday, they had no stream, or there was no stream. And I was like, oh, well, maybe they're taking some days off. And then it was right after I watched AEW, and then I kind of chilled out for a bit. And then when it approached midnight, I did that short video. And then before I came on here, I saw that Steel Toe had uploaded a video on their channel. And it was actually like it wasn't like a stream, it was like a video. And there's like it was kind of, but it wasn't like it wasn't like a live stream like they usually do. It was a standard video, but it was like 4 hours. So basically what he did was he did his stream recorded it, and then uploaded as a standard video. And so I happened to, click on it, and I watched like the first 10 or so minutes. And basically, he was explaining that he basically, in so many words, I don't want to, kind of go word for word what he said, but basically, for whatever reason, he is unable to do streams on YouTube. Apparently, the reason is that YouTube apparently took down one of his videos from however long ago. And he basically told the story that, and the title of this video, I think, is something like, "I'm being censored," or something like. It was Steel Toe's last video. And he basically was, he basically was talking about how YouTube censored him because of, I guess, some kind of opinion that he had involving, something involving the whole Hamas Israel thing. Again, this is when it comes to like world topics like that, like there's certain things I follow, there's certain things I'm kind of like, it's like, okay, yeah. But anyway, so he was basically talking about how YouTube, quote unquote, censored him, how they took down one of his older videos from like a month or so ago. And because of that, he's no longer able to stream. Now, the thing about that is, he also explained that YouTube did not give him a strike on his channel. Because obviously, if you guys, if you do, videos and such and content, and you obviously know YouTube's terms of service, if you get a strike on your channel, that means you can't, community guideline strike. Copyright is different, but if you get a community guideline strike on your channel, you can't upload or stream or post for like a week. And then if you get a second one, you can't stream or post or upload for 2 weeks. And if you get a third, obviously, they'll terminate your channel. So he was basically explaining that one of his videos was taken down by YouTube for whatever reason, I guess, because of his whatever opinion he had on the whole Hamas thing, or I guess it falls into political, it kind of fell into like political, stuff or ideology or whatever. But he was basically delving into the fact that, YouTube took his video down and yada yada, but they didn't give him a strike. But because YouTube took his video down, he's not able to do live streams for whatever reason. And he said, it's just temporary, but they didn't give him a time frame as to when he could stream again. So basically, he said that from now on, he's going to, I guess, stream exclusively on Rumble, or because I know, because he has a channel, he has an account on Rumble, and he does live streams on Rumble as well. Usually, he'll stream on YouTube, and then like he'll stream on Rumble or upload, his streams on Rumble or whatever. And, it's kind of one of those things where, he does content on YouTube and on Rumble. So, one of those kind of deals. But my thing is this. He basically said that he's not able to do live streams on YouTube because his video was taken down for whatever reason. I don't know if it was violating a guideline. I don't know what. All he said was that because that video was taken down, he's not able to stream. And he also stated that it was not a strike on his channel, but he's not able to stream. That kind of doesn't make any sense. Like, there's never been an occasion where a video of mine got taken down that wasn't a strike, that didn't result in a strike, that didn't result in me getting a strike on my channel, and I wasn't able to live stream. Like, I don't know what kind of, I mean, it's just like, it's just the way he described that is kind of weird, because because trust me, I've been doing videos consistently on YouTube for like 10 years now. And there have been occasions in the past where there have been videos that I've done that have been taken down for whatever BS violation. And sometimes it'll be a strike, but there have been occasions where I won't get a strike. Or YouTube will basically say, hey, this video violated X, Y, and Z, but this isn't going to be a strike on your channel. And usually what I do is I will appeal it, because a lot of times it is bullshit, because YouTube's got this flimsy automated algorithm where, they'll strike or they'll flag random stuff that's not even a violation. So generally what I do when that happens is I will appeal it. And more often than not, the strike will get, or not the strike, but the video flagging, it will get overturned, or the violation will get overturned, and my video will be reinstated. That's usually what happens. Now, there are occasions where the video of mine will get taken down. It doesn't happen a whole lot because, I don't upload stuff that blatantly violates YouTube terms of service. I'm not an idiot, but there have been occasions where I have gotten community guideline strikes, and obviously I will appeal them. Sometimes it gets overturned, sometimes it doesn't. But my thing with this is, Aaron seems like his whole thing about him having a video taken down and not being able to stream, even though he can still upload videos, and even though it's not a strike on his channel, then why are you not able to stream like that? I'm sorry, like something about that just doesn't add up. I don't know if anybody else like hearing that. Maybe I'm not, sometimes, and I'll admit this, sometimes I'm not the best at describing things or breaking things down, but I don't know if anybody else will hear something like that and say, wait a minute, how is it that you have a video taken down and you don't get a strike, but you can't stream? That kind of doesn't make any sense unless it's some kind of new policy that I don't know of. So that really doesn't make any sense. But anyway, the long and short of it is, I guess Steel Toe and Aaron aren't going to do like live streams or, live videos on their channel anymore. I guess they're going to exclusively stream on Rumble, and then they're going to upload on their YouTube channel after the stream is finished or whatever. Kind of like he did today. And it's kind of like, okay, but like I still don't understand how you can have a video taken down and YouTube won't allow you to stream even though you don't have a strike on your channel. That kind of doesn't make any sense to me. Like that's just I don't get it. Let's just put it that way. I don't get it. But but anyway, so yeah, so I guess it'll be exclusively streaming on Rumble, I suppose. But yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to delve into, and yeah, so we'll see what goes down with that. And also, there will be, like, in the future, if there is any, response or reaction to this video from him or, from Steel, which I seriously doubt there will be, but if there is, then we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I don't really know what the heck is going on there in the Steel Toe world or verse or whatever, or what's going on in his little community, whatever they call it, dabble verse, whatever they call it. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I got to say on that. Like, anybody watching this who may know about something that I'm leaving out when it comes to that, when it comes to the YouTube TOS, if there's some sort of thing I'm missing out on. But like, I personally just don't get why you wouldn't be able to stream on your YouTube channel because you got a video taken down, but it's not a strike. Like, I just don't get that. Like, there's something about it. It's just, I don't get it. Maybe, again, maybe I'm leaving something out. Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. Anyway, but that's pretty much it for that. So we'll see what goes down with that, I suppose. But yeah, so if Aaron or Steel Toe happen to be watching this, just know that your old buddy Wrestling Otaku says what's up. Yes, I'm still around. Yes, I will continue to be around. And yes, if you do mention me, just know that I will have a response for you. And so yeah, you guys back in the day, or years ago, you did your responses to me or reacted to my stuff. So I think it's only fitting. I think it's only fair that I do the same to you. So if there's any development involving that, then I may or may not react to it, much the same as I did here. And so yeah, so that's pretty much going to wrap up this edition of WO Speaks. So this will not be the only edition of WO Speaks that I make. I plan to make this like a regular live stream thing, kind of like a regular thing, where I just touch on various topics that aren't, like I said, wrestling or sports related, that I just feel like, talking about when I get the chance to. So be looking forward to more videos, more content, streams, whatever have you. And like I said before at the beginning of this, I will be getting back to doing the World on Wrestling podcast starting in January. I'm targeting the first week of January 2026. So be looking out for that. You'll see more videos, updates in regards to that. I plan on doing a full-on standalone video where I announce it. And so be looking forward to that. And like I said, more content coming. I got some videos I plan on making within the next few days. And yeah, they're going to be, trust me, there's one in specific that I plan on doing tomorrow. You're going to want to watch this video. You're going to want to see what I have to say when it comes to this certain individual who WWE decided to put a title on that he doesn't fucking need. I think you know who I'm referring to, but you'll just have to wait and see when I upload that video tomorrow. But anyway, that's going to be it for this little live stream here. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, give me your thoughts, give me your take on anything. If any of you have been kind of ingrained or following the steel toe stuff or the steel toe drama or whatever, if you have an opinion or whatever, go ahead and hit me up in the comments. Let me know. And be sure to subscribe to the channel once again if you haven't already. Appreciate all the support you get. And like I said, more content coming, more streams coming, more game streams coming. Be sure to check out my Wrestling Otaku Gaming channel and my Twitch channel. I'll put the links to said channels in the description of this video later after this uploads, after it's processed, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for that. So I'm going to call it a night here. So thank you once again. Thanks to the people who are watching this. And I know it's late. It's approaching 1 a.m. here, Eastern time. But once again, shouts out to everybody. Thank you all for watching and following and supporting the channel. More content to come for sure. But anyway, that's all I got to say for this. Thank you for watching once again. Enjoy the rest of your night. Till next time, Wrestling Otaku, I'm out for now for this edition of WO Speaks. Till next time, peace.